So thank you, John, for cueing me in there. I've had the pleasure to work alongside John, and he's taught me so much as well. And so it's just been a blast. I mean, you just lighten up everyone's day, especially mine. So excited to continue doing Cutco,
Oh,
John. But yeah, so I'm going to be talking today about increasing your average order. So who would be excited to sell $500 more every appointment? Raise your hands. What about $1,000? What about 2,000?
woo!
5,000? Yeah, yeah. Well, you can do that. You can definitely get a $5,000 order. It happens all the time, every day to a lot of us. All right. But it has to start with building a bigger picture. All right. Framing a bigger picture, creating a bigger picture, having a bigger mentality, and painting that for the customer. Okay. So I'm going to talk about kind of go over three things. Three key points is having a bigger mentality. Number one, right? Everyone rose their hand pretty much. They said, yeah, $500 more, $1,000 more, 2,000. So you're creating that mentality that you're greater expectations. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is sell more sets, right? We have to start a lot higher to end higher. So we got to sell more sets, and that's of not just knives, right? There's more than just knife sets. Number three is going to be accessorizing, so like add-ons, and asking all the qualifying questions, whether that's gifts, whether that's a wish list, business owners. Are we asking the right questions whenever we get in front of a business owner? Whenever we get in front of our big dollar clients, right? Are we maximizing our opportunities in front of them? Um, so first thing is going to be bigger expectations. So bigger expectations equals bigger sales, right? The key is to increase your average order and also adjusting that mentality whenever you're um, building making a higher average order. If you expect your customer to get it in the first place, chances are they're gonna get it. Now, if you expect your customer to get one piece, right? You're like, oh man, like they're probably not gonna buy. Like looking at this, like they already told me, then that's probably gonna be the expectation. That's probably gonna be reality, is they're gonna most likely get one piece, right? Um, and so the whole idea is whenever you are starting higher, um, when I say start higher, is that yes, everyone's pretty much quoting the homemaker set. That's usually what we're asking the customer. Would you like to go ahead and get your free stuff today? Help me out. Whatever that closing, that page 9 is inside your manual, close, closing on the homemaker set. Now, John, correct me. Is everyone outside of their fast start? Some people are inside of it. Are we
About
focusing on
a
just,
third are in their fast start. I would
okay.
say majority are in their first month.
Mhm.
And then there's Mr. Caden, who I think and then me and you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, sweet. So everyone's like within their first month, fast start.
Yeah, they're little babies.
Okay. Sweet. So yeah, so when you're on the homemaker set, you really want to, of course, ask for the order, go through the objections if they give you the objections. Um, and sometimes you never know. Just because someone said no to the homemaker, I've had several times. So many people working at the shows, they're like, no, I wouldn't get the homemaker set. And then they end up getting a family set, right? Because I'm able to build them back up to that point where I'm actually explaining to them, like, hey, by the way, like you're getting this galley set, but can I at least just show you what you're missing in the homemaker? Or can I at least show you like what's like I'm like as I'm asking questions, like, do you guys ever use that master carving set? It's like a spare tire, but you'd rather have it, not need it, than need it and not have it, right? These are these are your tools that you're going to use for the rest of your life every day. You're going to pass down to your kids. So when it comes to that master carving set, I know it's like a spare tire, but do you guys ever like do barbecue? Are you guys hosting Thanksgiving? Are you doing Christmas? Are you doing briskets, right? Especially down here in Texas, a lot of people are doing meats. So that's going to be your meat knife, right? Your brisket knife, your meat knife, big things like that. And, that's definitely a crucial item. And then, of course, the butcher. Your butcher is your heavy duty knife. Disjoint your chicken, things like that. So I'm really like, as I'm, as we're building down and they're really like the galley set, I then really, really, really focus on the pieces that they're not getting in the homemaker so they can see um, that that's what they're missing, right? So whenever it comes to starting higher, you want to start off with the homemaker. If they do say, yes, I like the homemaker, then of course go up to the signature and complete set. Now, I have now used different verbiage whenever I'm explaining my sets to make it a lot easier for the customer. I say, hey, our homemaker set is our basic set. It's going to cover all your basic needs. And that's referred to as our small set, right? So when I'm at the booth, I'm like, hey, this is our small, our medium, and our large set. Small, medium, large. Medium set is going to be the family set, right? You got all your basic tools, plus you get a little bit of specialty in there. Customers actually run into the company. A homemaker set was our biggest set up until about the 80s. What happened is customers weren't cooking like they used to back in the 40s and 50s. So we came out with some specialty pieces. Our scissors is our most used gadget. Our cheese knife is one of our top sellers. Our barbecue knife, Hardy Slicer, is going to be for all the really, really hard stuff. All the basic tools aren't going to be able to do what the Hardy Slicer does, right? And then, of course, most people gravitate towards chef knives, so you actually get a mini one, all right? Boom, that's our medium set. Awesome. Then I talk about our large set, complete set. You're going to get all your barbecue pieces and specialty pieces, and I really focus on those, really like push on that, just to show them like the difference. So out of those three, which one do you feel like best suits you? Cool, awesome. And then whenever it goes to the galley set, I use that as a starter kit. I'm like, yeah, we have a starter kit right here. I don't even show it, honestly. Whenever I'm pitching, I don't even show the galley, but it's important to show everything when you're dropping down. That's the main thing, is that you're dropping down properly. If they're saying no to the homemaker, you're going to go to the galley set and you're going to explain that this is it's a Best Buy. It's a lot cheaper. You're still going to get all your basic tools in there, just minus your spare tire and your heavy duty knife. Okay. So that's how you do that. And then of course, you can then, if they say no to the galley, okay, then we have like our little 5-piece deals here just to get you started out with some Cutco. Okay. So when they say they come as sets for a reason, you really want to emphasize sets, right? Whenever it comes to sets, whether it's the knives, also the cookware, and also the flatware. Yes, Mrs. Jones, you can pick knives out individually. No problems. You can customize, right? But I will say that sets are much better value, right? It's in your manual because they come with the right tool for the right job. They come with storage options, a tray or a block. They also come with freebies like a tray. I'm sorry, like yeah, like a cutting board, sharpener, and then they're also a lot safer. So all those reasons why you want to use, you want to always emphasize sets. And with names and uses, you want to briefly build up, then downplay each tool. So like this is like what I was explaining before, is you want to build up whenever you're describing the homemaker, you're building all the pieces up. But then when I'm talking about the family set and the complete set, I'm like, yeah, like those are just the basic tools. Like those are just going to get you kind of like all your basic needs. But this is why people buy the family set, because of these pieces. And these don't come in the homemaker set, right? And I emphasize on those 4 pieces. And then when it comes to the complete set, I'm like, look, you're going to get all your specialty knives, all your barbecue, and over a lifetime, you're going to use all these knives forever and pass them down. And so, like, for an example, whenever I say like downplay is like, this is a trimmer, like this is great for like cutting your tomatoes, lemons, limes, but obviously you wouldn't use that for sandwiches, right? So that's why we have that spatula spreader. Or for example, whenever I'm explaining the trimmer, I'm like, yeah, a lot of people will use this to kind of take off excess fat. But that's the reason why we came out with our boning knife, because our boning knife is designed to get around the bone. It's designed for our precision cutting, right? Venison, lamb chops, pork chops, things like that. So that's why you're kind of explaining like that trimmer is great, but this is an alternative. This is an upgrade to from the basic to that complete set. Um, and if they ask about separate tools, like actually breaking it apart, All those tools are available individually for people who want to upgrade their sets for new customers. We recommend that the set, they get that because they can have every tool for the right job. And just like anything else in life, for example, if you wouldn't wear like sneakers out like in a nice dinner and you wouldn't wear dress shoes to the gym, right? So it's the same thing with the kitchen names. It's important to have the right tool for the right task at hand. Okay. And you want to explain that to people because a lot, I'm like, and that's how you're kind of trying to break people out of the habit of buying individual knives, of saying I can use, we all have that one customer. I have a knife I can use for everything. Yeah, for sure. Like I agree with them. Like I'm pretty sure you could. If you wanted to take this, like, let me see. Like I have knives right here. You want to take this paring knife and cut a watermelon? I'm happy for you, right? Awesome, do that. But let's be honest, it's going to take 10 years to do it, right? We always, we want to make sure that you're having the right tools for the right job. And you just want to explain it to them like in a nice, funny way. Like, I'm like, yeah, Mrs. Jones, I completely understand that. But let me explain you why I at least start off with three pieces. If they keep saying one piece, I will at least start them off with three to get them to understand why three pieces is better than just one. And then I can work my way back up. So we're slowly breaking it down, right? We're slowly dropping down. But once we get that yes, we are able to build back up, right? And this is something that I love. As soon as I get the credit card, it's go time. I'm like, all right, it's time to upserve. I need the credit card first, right? I need them to say yes to whatever that they agreed to buy. But I already know once they say yes, it's just I'm going back uphill. So but drop down slowly, right? Follow the manual. If they are interested in the homemaker set, that's fine. Like I said before, just drop down to the pieces. And as the set gets smaller, your enthusiasm should get bigger, right? Because we're trying to get them to their first yes. And just because they're saying no, that just means that they're saying no today. You don't like we didn't figure out the reason why. It didn't tell you why they couldn't buy the homemaker set. They just put on new windows. Like yesterday, I get all these objections all the time, right? And it's just like I'm like, yeah, Mrs. Jones, like I completely understand. Be sympathetic with them. But at the end of the day, like people are going to spend their money where they want to. Customers are going to say no to you and then go spend $500 on a Gucci shoes, or they're going to go do a vacation, right? They're going to spend their money where they want to spend it. That's why we're here, to articulate that and convince them and get them to understand why it's important to invest in high quality knives, right? So yeah, be excited. Make sure your voice isn't like getting like, oh, okay, all right, well, next one, oh, okay, right? Still be happy, still be joyful, have that enthusiasm, and customers won't get excited. Like if your voice is diminishing and it's getting lower, lower, and lower, they're not going to be excited to see that smaller set. They're going to be like, okay. So make sure you're still having that enthusiasm, because they think that there's nothing special about it if you're not happy about it. When you're happy, they're happy. So they either want the full set and seem excited about it or nothing at all. So just make sure you have that. All right, cool. So then now the last part is accessorizing. This is something that please, 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 once I started doing this, when I say my average order, I think my average order was like four something. I have to look at it again. 2022, it was like 300 to 400. And as soon as I switched this, I went to go field train out in Colorado with some of the bigger CSPs. And I just did a lot of field training. And I just wanted to see how these people are average order $1,000, average order like 800. Like these guys out in Colorado, I'm like, dang, like Arizona, how are they having such a high average order? Because they're building a wish list with the customer. They are literally like Josh Moeller. You guys, whenever you guys, I don't know if you are familiar with Josh Moeller. He's sold over $1 million last year. He is one of our top CSPs, been doing it. He's an OG. You've probably seen his videos online. He builds a wish list with his customers. He keeps it and he's able to make a note. My customers want cookware in October of 2025. My customers want to get the flatware set in April 2025. He makes a note of it. He just doesn't talk about it. He does it. And this is something that I started doing I have an entire list of my customers whenever they say, "Hey, Angela, we're gonna just get this today, but we definitely want to look at the cookware next time you come to sharpen." I'm like, "Oh yeah, like when do you feel like you guys would start looking at new pots and pans? Maybe next year." Okay, sweet. I'll reach out to you guys next year, and if there are any sales or any promotions go on, I'll let you guys know. Sweet. Put it in my list. Cookware. The Jones want to look at cookware next month, next year. I just left the client. She wants to do some more cookware pieces. She already bought a cookware set for me, but she wants to add more in July, right? So I'm making a note, follow up with her in July. I'm following up though. I'm not just doing it just to do it. I'm following up. So you got to be intentional, right? Just because they don't buy today, doesn't mean that they're not going to buy later, even though, you want to get them on the spot, of course. But whenever I talk about accessorizing and building a wish list, I mean by going through everything, right? We talked about the knives, right? You guys said you wanted the knives. That's great. And also, by the way, this is how I do it. So if they say yes to like, I had a client, they said yes to the homemaker set. I go, awesome. Well, by the way, Mrs. Jones, just so you know, Cutco is a kitchen company. We actually make cookware, flatware, and accessories. So if you don't mind, I'm actually just going to walk you briefly through the rest of our products. And if anything does catch your eye, please let me know so I can put it down on our wish list. All right. Sweet. So I already have the homemaker set. You want it in this color, steak knives, blah, blah, blah. Love the sigils. Add those on. Now we're going to walk you through cookware. Tell me about your cookware situation, right? I want to hear them. Are they telling me our cookware sucks? Are they complaining about their cookware? I want to hear what they're talking about their cookware. And then I go ahead and then I introduce Cutco's cookware and tell about the differences. Yeah, and then you're gonna do flatware, same thing. Hey, tell me about your flatware situation. Let them talk, listen, be a computer, and put that information, and then spit out information. Sweet. So it's about our flatware. Cool. And then gadgets. I talk about those. But yeah, you're building a wish list. You're asking them, do they own a business? Um, is there anyone that's super hard to shop for that would appreciate a honey knife, a pocket knife? Father's Day is coming up. Wouldn't that be awesome to put your dad's name on this knife, on this honey knife? He'll have forever and pass down. Super cool. Yeah, get more accessories and just make sure you are walking through everything. I talk about wellness mats still, and I still sell wellness mats because I like them because I use them for shows and I think it's important. And then I still sell the coffee because that's a residual income. That's $2 a month, and I have like 5 customers. I mean, it's not a lot. I have 5 customers that do the coffee. So what's that? 5 times 2. I make $10 a month. That pays for my website thing for Cutco. So, money's money. But that's something that I did one time and that I'm always going to get paid on. So, yeah, talk about those things, talk about everything, and gardening as well, right? You walk them through it all. And for your business owners, we're not going to talk too much about that. But if you have questions about closing business gifts, of course, ask your manager. But if you have, and I'm sorry, I have cats that are just super bad. If you have business owners, just make sure you are asking your manager on how to close those and just in introducing it, at least having it as brain food. At least they know about it now. If you're unsure of how to do it, just let them know, like, hey, we have business gifts where you can put your logo and name, and you can write off the whole entire order. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just like I said, start off high. Make sure you walk them through everything. That's the main thing. Oh, and then really important, I guess, how do you do that, right? How do people buy their wish list, Angela? So whenever I have their entire wish list on my app, I basically go, hey, Mrs. Jones, I know you told me that you wanted to do the cookware most likely next year and that you probably wanted to do just these 3 knives today. But by the way, how Cutco does our specials, packages, and bundles is whenever you pair knives with cookware, cookware with flatware, or if you bundle things together, you get a bigger savings, right? Of course, like I said, you can always just buy 3 today, buy cookware later. But when you break up the 2 transactions, it's a little bit more over time, right? So let me just show you what it is. And then I bam, show them. Like I probably give them a knife or 2, just to incentivize them, just depending on how I feel. with the customer. Do they want a deal? It like, are they asking buying questions? I'm able to gauge the conversation on how I give out my deals. I don't do the same for everyone. I just kind of know, do they want one? Like, hey, this is how much it is if you did your whole wish list, by the way. And then they'll say, we're not ready to do that right now. Hey, no worries. I'll take that off. And this is how much it is if you just did this, right? And some people are going, ooh, but if I did it with the cookware, I get that much savings. I'm like, yep. And then some people end up saying, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Or some people are like, no, we'll just do the knives today. We'll do the cookware later. Hey, no worries. I'll be here whenever you guys are ready. I make a note and then I'm on to the next person. So that's all I have for you guys today. But yeah, just show them everything. And that's how you end up higher, increasing your average order.
Heck yeah, this is good enough for Miss Angela. Thank you so much, Angie. Guys, I hope you took. I mean, I was writing some things down. I love Angela. How not just are you starting to hire, but your word association is. I mean, you've been doing this forever, so I know it's just second nature. But guys, hopefully, like when you're going over names and uses on slide 6, right? That's a really, really important 5 to 10 minutes because people are going to associate with the nickname and the foods that that knife uses, not the name. If I walk down the street and I'm like, "Hey Riley, you want a trimmer?" He's probably gonna like look at me like I'm an idiot. Like, what do you what, trimmer? Is this like a code for something, right? I know you're an Aggie, John, but yeah, whatever. Cool, right? Cool, cool. But if I say, "Hey Riley, this is a small utility knife," it's like, "Oh, Caesar knows exactly what I'm talking about." Right? You can't expect your customers. I always laugh, right? Like, hey, what are your like? I know, and Angie, you said it. Like, what are your 3 to 5 go-to pieces? Right? Like, that's a really powerful phrase, right? Especially if your customers never seen Cutco before, right? You can't expect them, guys. Like, this was a big learning curve for me. I would always ask my customers, "Hey, Johnny, what's your favorite?" Well, that's like asking someone who's never been to a restaurant before, asking what their favorite thing on the menu is. It's like they may know, but they may not know, right? I love it when a customer says, like, and I'm sure Angela, you get this all the time. I want the cleaver. It's like, okay, pause, right? Like, okay, like what kind of foods would you use for the cleaver? And they're going to tell you, like, oh, Lucas, I'm going to use it for apples. Okay, pause. Like we like that's fine, but Kevin, that's not the right tool for the right job. So what Angela is so good at, like, if you're just selling like butcher knife and chef knife. Okay, well, guys, they have nothing to cut apples, tomatoes, strawberries, and you have to have the confidence to know, okay, testimony, if you want this, that's great. This is what it's going to be used for. Like, what are you going to use for smaller foods? What would you use for your chicken? Your carrots, right? Your apples, your oranges, your lemons, your limes, right? Like you can't. And she just whipped it out. She was like, you can't use a paring knife, but you can. But I wouldn't recommend that,
Mhm.
right? Something that Angela does such a good job. And guys, if you ever get a chance to go watch one of our Cutco sales professionals at the booth, oh my gosh, guys, it's like watching an opera or the symphony. It's just music, right? They're just so good, right, at being able to do the little things, right? But it's having the confidence to be able just to say, hey, like that's what this is be used for, but you don't have anything to cut this. Here's what I would suggest, guys. I know most of you guys, some of this is your first job, right? Or you've been here for 2 weeks. You went through training. You use the knives. You know more about the butter spreaders than your customer does. You just do, right? So if my customer is getting, oh, we just need one butcher knife, Lucas, I'm not serving my customer. I would much rather my customer get something in the kitchen they're going to use than just something that's going to collect dust, right? And so it's having the, hey, Ariana, you can definitely get the butcher knife. Absolutely. But I would recommend to pair that with X, Y, and Z. And that's what Angela's so good at. That's why she says 3 pieces, right? Veggie knife, meat knife, and spatula, at least for starters, right? I mean, that's what every kitchen needs. And so, heck, I love your word association, Angie. It's so subtle, but it's so powerful. I love the most people gra- gravitate. I didn't spell. I don't know how to spell gravitate. Yeah, most people gravitate towards this. People like being like everyone else, guys. So Riley, like a power phrase that Angela and all the CSP say is for customers just like you. I'd write that down, right? Like, guys, you don't like being the first one to do majority of the things that you do. So when you can say, hey, this is for customers kind of just like you in your situation, they're like, oh, Ariana, like you have something just for me. But it shows that you're working with your customer, not against your customer. That's huge. I hope you wrote that down. I love that phrase, Angel. Most people gravitate towards this based on your situation. They gravitate towards this. Heck yeah. And then, guys, get a yes. Once you get a yes, now it starts to have fun. Cool. Now you upsell. And Angela's so darn good at that. Hopefully, you guys took some notes about, hey, tell me about your blank situation. Tell me about your blank situation. She taught me this line a couple years ago. But do you see yourself replacing blank in the next 3 to 5 years? Do you see yourself replacing blank in the next 3 to 5 years? You do? Okay. Can I show you what that would look like? Sure. Right. But how are you asking? You're like, can I show you what that looks like? Or, hey, would you like me to show you what that would look like? Right. Are you excited to even show it to them? Or are you just, oh my gosh, Riley, this is going to be like $2,000. They're going to say, no, why even show them? Right. Well, have fun having an average order of $300. Now, right, I'm not speaking at you there, right? I was just using it as an example. Right. But it's true. We say in trade, if you don't show, you're not going to sell it. Right. Cool. And so just thank you so much, Angela. I know we had some questions in the chat box, guys.
Oh yeah, I can
So
answer some
Angie, you
questions.
cool for a couple like Q&A for 3 or 4 minutes before we hop on the phones?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So Devin asked, what is your first upsell typically after a yes to the homemaker? So if the customer says yes to the homemaker,
Mhm.
Angie, where are you going from there? I think that's what Devin was asking.
Yeah. Is that right, Devin? Is that what you're asking? You can unmute. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay. You're good. Sweet. So yeah, so when someone says yes to the homemaker set, I'm like, awesome. Well, typically I'm showing them the 3 sets and I'm asking them which one best suits your lifestyle or like your cooking situation. So if they say homemaker set and they're just saying the basic because it's the smallest one I showed them, I'm like, great. And then they say yes to it. I'm like, sweet. So just so you know too, anytime down the road that you're wanting to add more pieces to your set, just let me know. I'm your Cutco girl here forever. And also the really cool thing, you actually, anytime down the road you want to add more on, you become a candidate for our upgrade program. And so then I position, ooh, hold on. I'm on 1%. Wait, hold on. I don't want this thing to go out.
That's adorable. This
Oh
is
my
just
gosh.
so funny.
My heart. Hold on. No. No, it's not going.
Well, we lost her. That's too funny. So there's something, guys, called a. It's okay, Cameron. There's something called a triple close, cool, which is where you show all three. Now, I want to be very clear. No one on this call except for nope, no one on this call. I believe is ready for that, guys. Except for Johnny. There we go. I was like Johnny and Katie could probably do this, right? Because you guys have been doing this for a while. Kay and Duramus, not you, Katie Mills. You're still normal clothes, my man. But it's where like Francisco, who you guys heard yesterday, his homemaker sale, like the first thing he shows his customer is $11,000. Like his first bundle is like signature with steak knives, flatware, 2 wellness mats, the baking set, the entertainer pack, the 6-piece kitchen tool set, right? The biggest set of cookware, the stainless fleece set. It's a Cutco kitchen. It's everything, and then he starts and drops down from there, right? But I mean, he's like, hey, so you can value 17,000. I can get that down to 11,000. Is that something you'd like to do today? Just redoing their entire kitchen. Yeah, he sells probably 2 of those a year, maybe a little bit more, right? But like, just understand that they start just higher, Devin. Cool, but a great way to upsell too is